I hear you, sister.
Sister?
Yeah, it's okay. My boyfriend's black. Here he is. See?
Hi, Lynn. He's black?
Yeah.
I'm black?
Aren't you?
I'll give you a couple minutes to decide.
Listen, let's just get it out there. Logic isn't black. He needs to stop saying the N-word, any variation of it, nigga, nigger, niggas.
I put the H on it to emphasize it's nigga.
I don't care if he's asking to borrow a pencil or if he's asking to borrow a fry. He's got to stop saying the N-word.
Last week in lunch, Riley says to a classmate, "Can a nigga borrow a French fry?" And my first thought wasn't, "Oh my God, he said the word, the N-word." It was, now how is a nigga gonna borrow a fry? Nigga, is you gonna give it back? I'm telling you, my inside voice didn't talk like that before he got in my class.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Omar, aka Omeezy, and I am tired. I am tired of this conversation, and hopefully we can put it to bed once and for all. But before we put this conversation to bed, before we tuck it in, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that like button, you know. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. I was at the hospital the other day. I scraped my knee, and the nurse came in and said, "Oh my God, are you Omeezy? I learned about why George Lopez is a bad person from you." So make sure you tell somebody, because the word of mouth is actually working. Listen, Logic isn't black. I don't care how much people try to fight it. I don't care how much people try to tell me about his parents or potential parent or whatever the case may be. Logic isn't black. Logic is back in the media because he made this cover for Ice Cube's Today Was a Good Day. And now, mind you, there's a lot of problems with this cover that he did. I tried to do a Tiny Desk version of the cover, and it was just ultimately nasty. So there's a lot of problems with that. But what a lot of people were up in arms were about was this part right here specifically.
Freaking niggas every way like MJ. Can't believe today was a good day.
Yeah, that's right. You just saw a white man say the N-word. The N-word. You just saw a white man say the N-word. Yeah, Logic is a white man, and he just said the N-word. And so the reason why I had a bunch of people up in arms is because public perception says that Logic is white. Now, again, the cover is an ass rendition of the song Today Was a Good Day, but this right here was a lot of people's first times hearing that Logic was a black man, or finding out that Logic was a black man or is a black man. And I'm here to tell you, if every time that you say the word nigga, or every time somebody tells you that you are a black man, or every time you do something that is black presenting, and then people check you or question you, or it's a revelation to people that you are a black man, hey, you're not black. You're not black. Hey, that's the end all be all. The video is wrapped. I'm done. If people have to question, if there has to be photo evidence of grandparents and all this stuff, you're not black. See ya. Peace. No, but seriously, I think it should be just as simple as that. Now, Logic is somebody of the biracial community who has been fighting his whole life with his identity, and he's talked about that numerous times on different platforms. Even on the Genius platform, he talks about how he has the blood of the... I'm not even gonna say it. Go ahead, say it, dummy.
That white people treat me like shit and be like, fuck you, you nigger, and you this and you that. I've heard these things from people. And I could have just sat on in with Massa and been like, oh yeah, I'm white. That's all good. Don't worry. Fuck that. Are you kidding me? No. In my blood is the slave and the master. That's like,
yeah, it's a very nasty clip. But he talks about that internal conflict all the time. And for somebody who is biracial, I can get it. You know, I acknowledge that there are jokes and stereotypes that come with that, and you might not feel welcome on either side. But it also makes it very hard when you are a white person. Look, let's go ahead and get some of these things out there to clear this up, because this will make this so much easier. Let's go ahead and define race, nationality, and ethnicity, because people get so hard pressed about these three. They interchange them all the time, and they don't understand these different things. First of all, ethnicity. Ethnicity, defined by dictionary.com, is an ethnic group, a social group that shares a common and distinctive culture, religion, language, or the like. Nationality, the status of belonging to a particular nation, whether by birth or naturalization. And last but certainly not least, the one that's going to trip everybody up is race. Race, a competition between runners, horses, vehicles, boats, etc. to see which is the fastest in covering a set course. No, I'm kidding. Race, a concept, and this is by cancer.gov. I know I'm all over with the definitions, but bear with me, it'll all make sense. A concept used to describe a group of people who share physical characteristics such as skin color and facial features. They may also share similar social or cultural identities and ancestral backgrounds. There are many racial groups, and a person may belong to or identify with more than one racial group. I think the thing that catches people is that they're so fixated on what's known as the one drop rule in America, and that's what has people believing that like Logic is a black person and some of these other people are black people. The one drop rule was a legal principle of racial classification that was prominent in the 20th century United States. It asserted that any person with even one ancestor of black ancestry, one drop of black blood, is considered black. It is an example of hypodescent, the automatic assignment of children of a mixed union between different socioeconomic or ethnic groups to the group with lower status regardless of proportion of ancestry in different groups. Now, the problem with the one drop rule is there has to be some sort of line drawn in the sand, correct? They're saying that one drop of black ancestry then makes you black. Well, if I have a parent that's black and I have a parent that's white, that could make me black, okay, but by the one drop rule, if I have one grandparent out of the 4 grandparents that are available to me and that one grandparent is black, that would also make me black. Cool. If I have one great grandparent out of the 8 available to me, does that still make me black? Well, what about great great grandparent? Does that still make me black? So seeing that as a problem, the rule has changed so much throughout American history, and ultimately it was used to make sure that black slaves stayed black slaves. There's no way that you can mix with somebody who is white. If a slave master, raped a slave, there's no way they could be considered white, and that's why the one drop rule exists and is in effect. It's also been used to keep interracial marriage down. It's also been a way to, get them interracial marriages out of here. Before the rule was outlawed by the Supreme Court in 1967, it was used to prevent interracial marriages and in general to deny rights and equal opportunities and uphold white supremacy. I go on to read, before the American Civil War, free individuals of mixed race were considered legally white if they had less than 1/8 or 1/4 African ancestry, only in Virginia. So there has to be a new way to define who is and who isn't black. Logic, pay attention, because this is where you're in here. Race is a phenotype thing. So just because you have one black ancestor somewhere down the line clearly can't mean that you're black. Even then, if you have one parent who is black and you look white, you aren't black. And somebody would ask what looks white and what looks black and what looks all these other races. Well, there are distinct features that make a person look black. It's gonna sound like a stereotype, but it's true. I mean, the nose, the lips, the brow. I mean, there's a bunch of different things. The pigment in the skin. There's a bunch of different things that make somebody look a certain race than another race. And I'm sorry, if I put this picture of Logic and his son right here, if I didn't tell you that this was Logic, you would think that this is a white man. Him coming up to you and telling you that he has a white dad shouldn't automatically make him black. And the other thing that bothers me about the Logic situation and situations with others is that they spend a lot of their time trying to convince people that, hey, I am black, by popping up anywhere and everywhere and making sure that I say the word nigga.
Hey, Daddy, what you got to say to the world?
Hey, what's going on? It's time to go night-night.
If you had advice for anybody out there, what would it be, Dad?
Keep it real.
Keep it real all the time, nigga. You already know what it is.
I mean, he doesn't even sound right when he says it. It's absolutely crazy to me. Showing off his black dad. Now, mind you, didn't have a relationship with his black dad growing up, but that's neither here nor there. Or talking about this complicated backstory about how you grew up and what all that stuff meant to you and X, Y, and Z and the fight that you had to fight.
Because to be quite honest, Ice Cube's acceptance still has nothing to fucking do with y'all's opinion. You can still feel however the fuck you feel. First of all, shout out to that, man. Nothing but love there. But it's like a funny thing, like, man, motherfuckers is wild. There's a big difference between the internet and reality, real life,
You have people like, you ain't black, trying to convince me I'm not black. So why the white man want to lynch me? Oh, here he goes. He's talking about being black again. Fuck everybody hating on me right now. I'm black and proud. I'm not white because I am very fucking black. The fuck, you just white.
Wow.
No, I'm not. I am the first black man. Black people are beautiful, incredible, amazing black people.
For a lot of people, this is a hard topic to talk about or, conversate.
What are you talking about?
You're black. You said we were an interracial couple.
We are, because you're Hispanic. So what are you?
I'm white.
So we're just a couple of white people?
I guess.
Logic, you're not the only one confused. Rella, not too long ago, got pressed by Cleo, somebody else in the NY rapper drills. I don't know. They're the rap girlies from NY because she said the word nigga or says the word nigga as well.
And then she started asking me other questions like, are you even black? Like bringing that up. And it's like, why are you asking me that? And we having a conversation. She's like, are you even black? Because you be saying a lot. Like for you to know that I say a lot, you're watching me.
And the reason why she's getting pressed is because, I mean, look at her. She has the aesthetic of being an African-American person. The culture is dripped on her. It's draped on her. I can't take that away from her. But this young lady right here is a white woman, period, point blank. No matter how you slice it, no matter how you dice it. I think a general rule should be, hey, if you have to bring up your family tree to prove that you are a black person, it's safe to say you're not a black person.
Okay, so I'm not surprised people need a parent reveal. I got y'all. Hold up. So this is my father. Hi, Dad.
And it's fine. I think a lot of it is cultural ties. You can culturally identify with, you know, hip hop music, the rap genre, the hip hop culture, all these things, basketball, you know, the black aesthetic is appealing to you. All these things make being black fine. But the issue lies when you can take your black off, that black aesthetic, that black imagery off, and you can, you know, shelve it for your white aesthetic when it benefits you. I think that that's when the problem comes in. If people question you every single time that you are black or aren't black, all these things are good signs to you. And there's nothing wrong with it. I don't think there's anything wrong with mixed people, mixed race people, white people using the black aesthetics to a certain extent, as long as they're not using it and abusing it. But it becomes a problem when you start telling other black people how they should feel or what you can and can't do with and in their culture. Now, hey, I know I'm going to get a lot of pushback about this from all the mixed people out there. Hey, nothing's wrong with that. But if you want to talk about it, please message me, DM me, tell a friend to tell a friend again. I don't know. I'm always on Twitter Spaces. I'll even do a YouTube live stream about this one because I think this one is interesting. What do you consider to be black? Again, me, it's phenotypes. And I'm not saying this because I'm mightier than somebody, but just continue to educate yourself. You know, don't let the outrage and emotion take over you. Ask yourself, well, hey, what could Omar have been talking about? What does he mean by this? And let me look into this a little bit further, because he might be cooking with grease, but he might not. But let me make sure and do my due diligence to make sure he's not cooking with grease before I come out of nowhere with some bologna sticks. But until then, I could be wrong. Logic, stop saying nigga, my nigga.